Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There's no doubt that the medical device tax that's found within the President's Affordable Care Act sends American jobs overseas, hurts American jobs here in the United States, raises health care costs for all Americans, and stifles innovation. But while I have supported the House's action to repeal this onerous tax and support innovation, it's important that I highlight an important issue to my constituents back home in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, because it's tied into this whole debate. And that issue is medical device safety, and it's patient safety. Many who serve in this chamber may have seen the headlines over the past several months regarding a medical device known as a power morcellator, and specifically the devastating damage it has caused to women's health by spreading unsuspected cancer throughout their body. These devices are gynecological tools used to remove uterine fibroids and have been on the market for over 2 decades. But only recently we've learned that the use of these devices increases the risk of spreading unsuspected cancers in women to as high as 1 in 350 cases. That finding prompted the FDA to issue a black box warning on the devices last fall. Several major insurance companies have stopped covering the procedure, and some medical device manufacturers have pulled them from the shelves. All appropriate steps to be taken when it becomes clear that a previously approved device has potential to harm instead of help. But as a lawmaker, I must ask, how is it that we've gotten to this point? What are the FDA and the medical device industry's protocols? That's why on February 19th of this year, I sent a letter to the FDA asking pointed questions about the current streamlined regulatory process that the power morcellator went through, known as 510K. I asked about FDA's reporting process for dangerous devices and their post-market surveillance techniques. I asked for detailed explanations on why the power morcellator remains on the market despite the high risks that have now been revealed. To date, nearly 4 months from the date that this letter was hand-delivered to the FDA, I have not received a written reply, and I ask for unanimous consent that my letter to the FDA be entered into the record.
Without objection.
These are important questions, the answers to which will inform any next steps that we need to take. My constituents want answers, I want answers, and I think this chamber needs answers so that we can properly begin to address these gaps in our device safety regulations that allowed the morcellator to slip through the cracks for so long. Ensuring the safety of our constituents is paramount to each member of this body, and that is what I seek when it comes to this issue. I'm hoping the FDA will partner with me. I'm hoping that every member of this body will partner with me. Industry and government need to work together to develop a robust, modernized, post-market device surveillance program that allows us to catch issues like the power morcellator faster and encourages responsive reporting protocols so if a doctor finds an issue with a device, the manufacturer and the FDA are promptly notified and provided accurate data to take the next appropriate steps. But unfortunately, it's becoming clear that the reporting system for faulty and deadly devices is broken. A recent Wall Street Journal story highlighted how in 2006, a doctor from central Pennsylvania started to raise the alarm and ask questions about power morcellators. He was seeing an alarming number of cancerous tissues arriving at his lab coming in from morcellation surgeries. He estimated the occurrence at somewhere in the range of 1 in 300. It took the FDA and industry nearly a decade to come to the same conclusion. Within that decade, an unknown number of women were harmed and deceased because their cancers went from localized and treatable to stage 4 and metastasized within days of being spread by the blades of this device. What happened with the power morcellator should never be allowed to happen again. We need to ensure that risks are adequately assessed before the devices hit the market. We need to monitor the devices once they're on the market, and we need to have efficient and effective reporting procedures in place. And those within industry and FDA need to be held accountable if it's found that they're turning a blind eye to these issues. I hope that my colleagues will join me in ensuring that patients and safety always come first. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back.